Hello everyone! In this video we will show the features and the configurations of an Odoo module universal appointments and time reservations, which was created by faOtools. The tool lets you organize flawless time reservations, control fulfillment, evaluate customer satisfaction, sell and upsell goods in almost any industry. With all options installed, the tool represents a structured e-shop for your services. A flexible module setup allows reflecting specific of your business or even multiple businesses. The module has a convenient backend menu, from which the appointment managers can create a new reservation in just a few clicks. The algorithm of the module allows making sure that only vacant time slots will be available for booking. Boost revenues by upselling accessories. Automatically request client reviews upon completion of the reservation. Collect rating and check the quality of provided services. It is possible to let portal partners and website visitors schedule an appointment through the configurable multi-step process of checkout and confirmation. Link appointment resources with employees. Introduce custom fields for reservations, resource types, resources, and services. Generate a sale order automatically as soon as an appointment is scheduled. The app is configurable for multi-companies and for multi-website environments. Now let's look at the three core objects that together help to reflect the company's workflows. These are resource types, resources, and services. Each object introduces certain settings for the flexible reservation process. The decision on what to consider as resource type, resources, and services is completely up to you. Such an approach lets you reflect almost any service business. The tool does not force you to have multiple instances for each layer. In simple cases, there might be just a single representative for each step. If there is a single option available, the app will reflect that by simplifying appointment scheduling. Therefore, steps without actual choice are auto-missed. Let's start with creating a service. Service is a core object that defines what actually should be done. For example, it can be a consultation or surgery. Services are not equal to other products, but they are linked to each other to manage pricing details. Services regulate the time settings of appointments, how long should it take and when it can be started, and they also may further restrict the time available for booking. For example, let's create a service lesson for our language school. For that, go to the tab Resources, Services, click Create, add the reference, in our case it's lesson, and optionally add a picture. Set the appointment's default duration. It can be set in hours and days. This way, the available time slots will have a duration depending on the chosen service. For example, let's set it as 45 minutes. In this case, we choose the option hours. And here how the resulted time slots would look like. Optionally, write the location of the service. It will be shown in the confirmation voucher. If the location of the service isn't stated, then the location of the resource will be written. So let's choose Green Road 5. Choose the related product to create link between the product and the service. It allows you to use standard Odoo, for example, to manage the pricing details. For example, for the service lesson, you can create a product with the same title and set the pricing information. Just write the word lesson and click on any place. Create. And here it is. You can click on the link to edit the product. If you don't want to sell appointments but only schedule those, then it is possible to use the same product for all the services. Then you can add some complementary products if the option complementary products offer is enabled in configurations. Then, after reserving a time slot by the manager from the backend, or when a client finishes scheduling an appointment in the front end, a pop-up with the complementary products will be shown. Let's add some complementary products. I have previously created two products, students' books and workbooks. The pop-up window will be shown only in case there are complementaries defined for a booked service. While scheduling in backend, it will look the following way. Optionally, in the Field Slots tab, choose the step for time slots. This way you can set the step with which time slots will be created. If the step is smaller than the duration of the service, then the overlapping time slots will be shown. If the step is equal to the service default duration, then it will not be overlapped. If the step is bigger than the service duration, that will result in breaks between the available for booking time slots. So let's set the slot step as 30 minutes, and here how it would look like. Then define how the appointment start time should be rounded to avoid the calculation of unlikable start time. For example, an hour-long lesson starting at 12:23 is hardly good. To solve the problem, you can simply set up rounding for an hour, 5, 10, 30 minutes. Hover over the field title to see some examples of the feature. So let's set this at 30 minutes, and you can specify the time required for completing the reservation without the participation of the client. This setting allows showing the client what time he/she should finish receiving the service. At the same time, the resource will be blocked for the entire selected time. So in this case, our lesson would last only 30 minutes, while in the backend, the whole time would be booked. Let's look at it. So here is the time of the lesson. And as you see, the whole time is booked. For the services with daily duration, let's look at it. There are several extra fields: start the restrictions and end the restriction. Each of the fields represent a rule that keeps the information about the set of days of the week and or set of specific dates on which the reservation cannot start and end. For example, you can specify weekends or holidays. But let's return to our lesson. Here we can optionally allow manual duration. In this case, the duration of the service will be chosen manually by the client or by the manager. For example, it might be useful for a hotel or a car rent. If you tick this option, then several extra fields appear: minimal duration, maximum duration, and multiple for hours. Multiple for hours is the way how manual duration should be rounded. For example, here is our service car rent class A, with minimum duration as 2 days, maximum as 6, and multiple for 2 days. And as you see here, we cannot book the service for 3 days, as it is multiple for 2 days, so it is changed to 4. Optionally, you can set the additional calendar of the service. If set, then the intersection of the resource and service calendar will be taken into account when calculating the available slots. So let's choose the calendar 35 hours a week. Let's say that teachers have 5 hours for preparing the lessons. So let's also take a look at the working calendar. Keep in mind the time zone of it is UTS, and the work ends at 4 o'clock. And here how it would look like. On the service card, It is also possible to specify the additional resources to provide the service. Then, when booking, both in the backend and in the portal, the system will take into account calendars not only of the main resource, but also of the additional ones. In order for the time slot to be available for booking, both the main and the additional resources should be free. For example, in our language school, we have human resources teachers, and we let clients choose them. But for the service lesson, we need another resource, that is room. When the room and or teacher is busy, it isn't possible to book a lesson. Here you can add the whole resource types, so all resources that are included in this type will be considered for booking. If we choose another resource type in the same line or another resource in the same line, then they will be scheduled alternatively. So either this one or another one will be scheduled. If you want to add extra resources additionally, then you need to create another line. And in the scheduling wizard, you will see a warning that the service requires an extra resource. In this case, it's either room 302 or room 303. In the tab description, you can write the description of the service. If you have the add-on Universal Appointment Portal and website, select the website on which your service will be visible. For example, let's choose My Website. We will talk about it later. Then click Save. So our service is ready. Now let's create the related resource type. It's a core object that sets the specifics of the business and stores the related to the business settings information. It also keeps information about related services and resources. This way you can distinguish one group of services and resources from another one. For example, resource types may be particular businesses you manage: beauty salon, dentists, car rent. Or you can assign different addresses of the business as resource types. For our language school, we would like to use the languages as resource types. For that, go to the tab Resources, Resource Types, and click the button Create. Add a reference, so the first language we're going to create is English. And optionally add a picture. Choose the service method. Either the services should be selected, or if there is only one service is always the same. So we are going to have several services: lesson, consultation, and maybe some more. So let's choose service should be selected. Then let's enumerate the available services. Lesson, and let's say consultation. Then let's choose the resource selection. If we choose manual, then our clients will be able to choose the resources, for example, teachers. And if we choose automatic, then they will be assigned automatically. And we can choose resource allocation method. If several resources teachers are available for the reservation, then according to this setting, the module will decide which one is the most suitable. There are three options available. To spread the appointments equally, keeping in mind the resource duration, choose to distribute resources by the option Resource Workload. For example, it's useful if we want all teachers to have equal actual working time. To spread the resources equally based on the number of appointments, choose the option by appointments number. For example, it is useful when you have a language school where the lessons have a fixed time and you want the teachers to have an equal number of lessons. To distribute resources on a queue basis, choose the option by order. For example, it's useful if you have a car rental and it doesn't matter which car is chosen for the appointment. The first option will be chosen unless unavailable. Then the second one will be chosen. So let's choose by workload. For example, we have two resources, Abigail Patterson and Doris Cole. Abigail Patterson has 12 appointments, while Doris Cole has 9 appointments. So if an appointment is booked and the particular teacher isn't chosen, then the chosen resource will be Doris Cole, as she has less lessons. Then choose how the total price will be calculated. Choose the option planned duration, when the appointment time and the price is fixed. Choose the option track duration if the time of the appointment may change and therefore only the price for the actual duration should be charged. Choose the option units when the total price for the appointment equals the product's price. We are going to choose planned duration, as the lesson's time is fixed, 45 minutes. Then set the time at which it isn't possible to book an appointment. A user will not be able to book an appointment if before the appointment it is left less time than is set in the first timer. We are going to set 2 hours as the teacher needs to prepare for the lesson. Also, a user will not be able to book an appointment if the time before the appointment exceeds the time set and the line reservations should not be done after. This way, a user will not be able to book an appointment in 30 days. So we can fix it. So let's say for 5 weeks. This way, the managers and the clients will be able to book lessons only for the next 5 weeks. And also set the time for which a user can cancel an appointment in the line portal cancellation reschedule might be done in. Set the time as 0 to forbid cancellation. And set the time as, for example, 1 day. So the clients could cancel the appointment no less than a day before the lesson. If we try to book a lesson for today, then we will see that there aren't any available time slots, as it is less than 2 hours before the shift end. If we search in days for, let's say, 3 months, then we will see only the time slots for the next 5 weeks. Optionally, in the tab Settings, tick the box Calendar Events as busy time. If the option is ticked, then for periods when responsible user has meetings, that is events assumed by the Odoo calendar, appointment booking will not be possible. If the resource is set as human, then the working calendar of the employee is used. And if the option calendar events as busy time is turned on, then the meetings of the employee are also considered. Optionally, in the tab Settings, tick the box Appointments Customer Rating. If the option is turned on, then the rating request will be sent when an appointment is marked done. If you work in a multi-company environment, in the line Company, choose the related one. Optionally, in the tab Notifications, select Success Email and Rating Email Templates. If you don't want to set a voucher for printing, then tick the box No vouchers in Success Emails. Optionally, set the default alarms. At the moment, we don't have any alarms created. So let's, for example, start writing 1 hour and click Create. Here you can choose the type of alarm, for example, email, set the number of days, hours, or minutes. For example, let's say remind before 1 hour. Choose recipients, followers, and then email template. Then we can choose it. In the Description tab, add the description to the resource type. If you have the add-on Universal Appointments portal and website, select the website on which your resource type will be visible. If you leave the field empty, then it will be visible on all websites. Also, if you have the add-on Universal Appointments Sales, you can choose the default sales team or default salesperson of the appointments related to this resource type. So let's choose Europe and Mitchell admin and click Save. So one resource type is ready. Let's create a second one by simply duplicating this one. Click the button action, duplicate, and just change the title to German, the second language that is taught in our school. Click Save. This way, all other settings are copied from the previous one. Finally, let's create some resources. Resource is a core object that represents a facility or a person whose time is considered for allocation to provide a service. In some business models, the resource may be represented by a certain specialist, like here. In other companies, it might be a piece of particular equipment or facility. In resource settings, you can define available days, timetables, and time off. So let's create a resource. For that, go to the tab Resources, Resources, and click Create. Add a reference. In our case, it's going to be a person, Abigail Peterson, and optionally you can add a picture. Choose the resource type if you have the add-on Universal Appointments HR Bridge. It can be either human or material. When choosing material, here you also need to choose the working hours. For example, it can be standard 40 hours week. In case you choose the resource kind as human, then the calendar of the related employee will be taken into consideration. For example, Abigail Peterson. And she is also added as a responsible person. Choose the resource type. The field allows linking the resource with a particular resource type. It is filled automatically when a resource is created from the resource types card. It also adds the related services, but you can remove the ones you don't need. Optionally specify the extra managers that will be able to observe related appointments if they have a group appointments only on assigned. In our case, it's going to be Ellie Lambert. Also, you can write the location of the resource. It will be shown in the confirmation voucher if the location of the service isn't stated. Optionally, choose a person who will receive a copy of the client success email. In the description, you can add the description of the resource. If you have the add-on Universal Appointment portal and website, select the website on which the resource will be visible. In the tab Sales, you can choose the default sales team or default salesperson, so it will be assigned automatically when an appointment is generated. The tab is available only if you have the add-on Universal Appointment Sales. Then click Save. Optionally, you can make a resource an alias for another one. This way you will be able to use the calendar of the prime resource. It is particularly useful when one of your resources provides services from different areas. For example, Doris Cole. She is a hairdresser and also a teacher. To turn the resource into alias, just start creating or editing the resource card, and in the line the resource is only alias for, choose the prime resource. As you see here, we don't see all the fields as the information is taken from the prime resource, Doris Cole. Let's choose the type as English, and our alias is ready. The prime resource is Doris Cole. This way, we can use one employee in two different places, or any other material. You can find out more about aliases in our detailed documentation for the module in the article Managing Resources. The link to the documentation you will find in the description of the video. Now let's also take a look at the resource types, resources, services cards. On the resource type cards, you will see the button that shows the related to it resources. Here we have 3 related resources. On the resource type and resource cards, you will be able to see the number of appointments that were booked. Also, if you tick the option Appointments Customer Rating and receive feedback from clients, then on the resource type, resource and service cards, you will see the rating button, which shows the satisfaction in percentage. Click on it and you will be redirected to the menu where you will be able to find the chosen emoji and information about it. And you can return back with the help of the breadcrumbs. Below the created resource types and resources, you will find a message thread where you can discuss it with colleagues, leave log notes, schedule activities, and add attachments. There you can also follow the resource type or resource. We will talk about it later. If you work in a multi-company environment, then as you open the resource type, resources, and services, you see only objects related to your company or to the companies selected in Systray if you have the access to several companies, and the global ones without a company assigned. You can search resource types, resources, and services, filter them, and group them to find the required ones quickly. Now, as our core elements are ready, it becomes possible to schedule an appointment. Reservations can be made either from the backend by appointment managers or from the frontend by the client. In order to be able to book an appointment from the frontend, a special add-on Universal Appointments portal and website is required. Firstly, let's look at the scheduling process in the backend. The module has a convenient backend menu with a single view interface, where you can see all reserved appointments, regardless of the way they were booked, and from which the appointment managers can create a new reservation in just a few clicks. In the main part of the calendar, you can see and manage reservations. It is possible to see the appointments in the daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly view. To switch to the required one, just click on it above the calendar. By default, the events are shown in the monthly calendar. The right side of the interface serves for the navigational purposes. There you'll see a smaller calendar and a list of available resource types, resources, and services, and appointment states. We will discuss the menu in detail a little bit later. To create an appointment in any calendar view, just select the day or day range by moving the mouse while holding the click. And the appointments wizard will be automatically initiated. If previously you have specified the resource type in the right functional panel, then those will be automatically chosen in the wizard. Even if you select a particular day or day range to launch the appointment wizard, you will be able to change the period of time for which the time slots will be generated in searching days. After launching the appointments wizard, you need to choose the resource type. Then you need to select a resource. If you select only one resource, then the resource will be assigned and its calendar will be chosen to generate the available time slots after selecting the service. You can also choose several resources by adding them one by one, or you can click at the option Any to choose all resources at once. Then you can remove the resources you don't need. If several resources are chosen, then one of those resources will be assigned automatically according to the chosen allocation method of the related resource type. Then, in the wizard, you also need to choose the service for which the appointment should be scheduled. As soon as the wizard details are filled out, the tool will generate and show available time slots. The algorithm of the module allows making sure that only vacant time slots will be available for booking. The vacant slots for appointments are automatically generated based on the number of factors. The available time slots are shown based on the resource calendar. This way, the time when the resource is unavailable or has time off isn't shown. For the service lesson, We have set the slot step as 45 minutes, which is equal to duration of the module, so there aren't any overlapping time slots. Simultaneously, we have set the checkout period as 15 minutes. That is the time the teacher has without the client. So in the wizard, the duration is shown as 30 minutes instead of 45. However, the resource will be booked for the whole time. As we have chosen some extra resources, the slots are generated according to the busyness of all extra resources. And as you remember, we can't book more than 5 weeks in advance. So the generated slots are shown only for 5 weeks. You can find out more about each of these and other factors in the documentation article Time Slot Generation. You may even allow scheduling a few appointments simultaneously. To allow multi-scheduling from the backend, on the configuration page, tick the option Multi-scheduling and specify the maximum number of appointments in backend. Let's say, for example, it is possible to book 3 appointments at once. Then click Save. After that, you will be able to select several time slots. Here, one is selected. You may even change the resource type or service and choose another time slot. For example, let's select the second slot for the dentist. As you see, the first choice is saved. So let's book a second one and the third one. This way, all the required dates will be booked at once. Optionally, you can add complementary products. If there are complementaries defined for a booked service, Odoo will show a pop-up with suggested products for backend managers immediately after reserving a time slot. The pop-up allows both adding one or several products, or merely missing the step if no complementary is needed. You can turn on/off the feature on the configuration page. Then we need to select or create a contact. You can choose a contact among the existing ones, and then all the details will be taken from this contact. No further filling will be required, and other fields will be hidden. If the contact has a company, it will be written before it. If the client is not from the contacts list, you can create a contact right from the wizard. For that, just fill in the contact's name. And once you submit the appointment, the contact will be created. This way you can create not only the contact itself, but also its company if it's not yet in the list of contacts. In order to submit a booking and create a contact, only one field is mandatory, and that's the field name. However, it is strongly recommended to fill in the email and phone as well, to be able to connect with the person and send confirmations. Optionally, you can also add some other details, and they will also be reflected in the contacts card. Also on this step, if the option is turned on, you can still see the chosen price list and change it if necessary. If you choose a particular contact, then the contact's price list is applied instead of the previously chosen one. But you can switch to another one and it will not result in changing the contact's price list on the contact's card. If the existing fields aren't enough and you want to create an extra field to the appointments, it is possible to create some custom fields. For that, the add-on Universal Appointments custom fields is required. To view the Appointments field on the Account Details page, just choose the Backend Form View Placement. And if you want to make filling in this field mandatory, tick the option required to enter a value. And here is our field. Keep in mind that the information will be added not to the contact, but to the appointments card. On this step, it is also checked if there are any other reservations that block the current by resource or additional resources or by related contact. If there is another reservation or there are intersections with other contact reservations, then the warning will appear. The same contact cannot have two reservations by different resources at the same time. After scheduling an appointment, it is possible to reschedule it. Just launch the scheduling wizard through drag and drop in the appointment. There you will be able not only choose another available time slot, but also change the details of the appointment, such as resource type, resource, service, price list of the appointment. The available time slots will be searched in the day range to which you dropped the appointment. Optionally, you can change the dates for rescheduling. Another way to reschedule the appointment is through the button Reschedule on the appointments card. Here it is. We will talk about it later. Universal Appointments website and portal is an optional add-on that allows you to add the appointment scheduling wizard to the portal and on your websites. The process of booking is similar to the one in the backend. Before scheduling an appointment on the website, let's enable the website booking in configurations. In the website-specific options, you can manage the appointment settings on a website. If you work in a multi-website environment, you can choose the website to apply the settings to. To turn on the possibility to book appointments in Portal, tick the option Business Appointments in Portal. This way, registered users will see the tab My Appointments in Portal. After enabling appointments for the portal, another option Business Appointments on website appears. Once checked, appointments will be shown to all visitors on the current website, so everyone will be able to book an appointment from the front end. The set of steps to book an appointment is fixed. However, the steps that have only one option are skipped. This way, the number of steps might change. The default labels for the steps may not be fully understandable in many use cases. For example, the step Choose Resource Type may not be clear for the clients of a dental clinic or of a language school. So it might be a good idea to change the step labels according to your business needs. This way, the steps will be understandable to the customers. Let's change the labels of the steps in our language school. For example, the first one is Choose Language. The second one is Choose the Teacher. And we are going to leave the labels of the further steps. Don't forget to save. Now let's take a look at the reservation process on the website and possible customization options. The reservation process on the website is very similar to the one in backend. It isn't necessary to register in order to book an appointment from the website. However, for further bookings with the same account details, registration is necessary. While booking an appointment, above the choice area, you will find the progress bar with the stages of the booking process. You can move between the stages safely without losing the progress. Choices are saved, so even if you don't complete the booking and close the site, after reopening it, you will be able to proceed from the same step. As soon as the time slot is chosen, the pre-reservation timer appears. It is necessary to complete the reservation during that time. Otherwise, the pre-reservation will be cancelled and the time slot will be available again for other bookings. Optionally, the progress bar can be hidden. For that, from the history option Customise, click on the slider button with the line Progress bar. This doesn't mean that the client's scheduling process will not be saved while advancing through stages. The progress bar will just be hidden, invisible to clients. In the mobile version, the progress bar is also shown, but without the step names, to avoid overloading the interface. Depending on the stage, there are various customization options available. For example, you can turn on the introduction on the step Choose a Resource tab. Then the special area will appear below the progress bar, where you will be able to write some words or add some website building blocks. Let's look closer at each step of the booking process. First step is choosing a resource type. In this step, choose resource type, only published resource types are shown. If the resource type doesn't have any resources and services assigned, then such resource type is hidden, even if published. Also, if there is only one available resource type for the website, then the step will not be shown, and that resource type will be applied by default. In case there are a lot of resource types, it might be useful to apply various filtering, sorting, and search options. If the available options aren't enough, you can create some custom filtering and searching options. To add custom portal resource type filters, in configuration, scroll to the section website specific options. Here it is. Find custom portal resource type filters. Here it is. Click add a line, then create, then add a filter name, for example, best. Add the filtering rule in the field domain by clicking add filter. Let's say it should contain a word best in description. Then click save and close, and don't forget to click save. To add custom portal resource type search, let's also add custom portal resource type search. For that, find the field custom portal resource type search and click add a line, then create. For example, let's add a search option website description. For that, choose the related field, and the label will be added automatically. Then click save and close, and finally don't forget to save the changes. Custom fields can also be chosen for the filtering options or searching options. We will talk about creating custom fields a little bit later. So let's try to filter by best. In case the searching or filtering result has no matches, you will see a warning. There are no records found by your criteria. Push clean search to clear search filters. The phrase clean search contains a link that clears the filter search parameters. Let's click it. This way, you can create not only the filter and search parameters to resource types, but also to resources, services, and appointments. For appointments, the filters and search parameters will be available in the appointments list in Portal. Then the next step is choosing the resource, or in our case, choosing the teacher. Here, only published resources related to the chosen resource type are shown. This step is missed in case there is a single published resource or when you choose the resource type that assumes automatic allocation. If you let the user choose the resource manually and have more than one option, then they will be able to choose one resource or add several or all resources to the selection. If a client chooses several resources, then one of those resources will be assigned automatically according to the chosen allocation method of the related resource type. Let's also add the full description to our resources, so the client could get to know our teachers. For that, let's return to the configuration page and find the option Full Details page for resources and tick it, then save. That would add a separate page for each resource where you can describe it in details using the website building blocks. The link to the page will be shown on each resource card in the scheduling wizard on the website. If you have enabled the full details pages for resources, it is still possible to turn off the page for one or several resources. For example, let's disable this page for Paul Williams. For that, open the tab Website and tick the option Do not show website full description. Then click Save. As you see, the link was hidden for Paul Williams. However, internal users can access his full details page by clicking a link on the resource type card. Page is unavailable for public and portal users. The same way, you can also add the full website description to resource types and services. Then let's move further to the next step. As you see here, the step to choose service is not available because there is only one service for the language German, only lesson. So let's choose another resource type, English, to proceed to the third step. And on the step Choose Service, only published services related to previously chosen resource type and resources are shown. So in case there is only one available service for the website, or when the service is always the same for the particular resource type, then the step will not be shown and that service will be applied by default. On the step Choose Service, only published services related to previously chosen resource types and resources are shown. In this step, if the add-on Universal Appointments website sales is installed, a client may see the prices and available price lists and switch between them. We will talk about it later. As you remember, while scheduling an appointment on the website, the client's choice is saved, and if the reservation wasn't completed, the client can open the page again later and continue the booking process from the same step. You may set the time when the information about chosen resource type, resource, or service on the website should be cleared. That is especially useful in case when certain resource types, resources, or services are no longer available for the choice on the website. The session choice of the client can be cleared automatically after a certain time or manually by clicking on the button. To set the timer to clear all the sessions automatically, open the configuration and find website-specific options. Find the field session duration in hours. Here it is. And specify the number of hours after which the website session should be cleared. For example, let's say 100 hours. Keep in mind that the session duration should be at least 5 minutes and should exceed the reservation and confirmation period, as otherwise the session may be reset before the timer that the user sees. Don't forget to save the changes. Then the client chooses the service and we move to the next step, choosing time. The slots are generated automatically. The customer navigates over the available time slots and chooses the required one or ones, if you enabled multi-scheduling. The available time slots on the website are shown based on the same principles as in the backend. The available time slots are shown based on the resource calendar. This way, the time when the resource is unavailable or has time off isn't shown. For the service lesson, we have set the slot step as 45 minutes, which is equal to duration of the module, so there aren't any overlapping time slots. Simultaneously, we have set the checkout period as 15 minutes. That is the time the teacher has without the client. So in the wizard, the duration is shown as 30 minutes instead of 45. However, the resource will be booked for the whole time. As we have chosen some extra resources, the slots are generated according to the busyness of all extra resources. And as you remember, we can't book more than 5 weeks in advance. So the generated slots are shown only for 5 weeks. You can find out more about each of these and other factors in the documentation article Time Slot Generation. In case an appointment is booked through the website by the portal user, time slots will be generated taking into account the contact's reservations. The time slots when the user has a reservation will not be shown. In order to move to the next step, the client should just select the desired time slot by clicking on it. You may even allow scheduling a few appointments simultaneously. For that, on the configuration page, tick the option Multi-scheduling. Here it is ticked. And then in the section Website Specific Options, find the field Maximum Appointments Portal and specify the number of slots that can be booked. For example, let's say 4. Then click Save. The client will receive one success email for all the reservations. If you have the add-on Universal Appointment Sales, Then one sale order will be generated for all reservations. To select several time slots, a client should just click on each of them one by one. In order to remove the time slot from the selection, just click on the cross by it. The selection of the time slot means that this slot is pre-reserved and cannot be used for other bookings. As soon as a time slot is selected, above the progress bar appears a timer, which shows the time left to finish the booking. If the reservation is not completed during that time, then the pre-reservation will be cancelled and reserved time slots will be available for further bookings. You can define the maximum period for pre-reservation on the configuration page in the line Maximum period for pre-reservation. If the option complementary products for reservation is ticked, the pop-up window with suggested products will be shown for customers after selecting a time slot for reservation. As soon as the time slot is chosen, the client will be redirected to the next step, account details. Optionally, on this step, you may force the public, not logged in users to sign in. Only offer to sign in, or just let them add their details. To force or offer the users to sign in before entering the account details, go to Appointments Configurations, Website Specific Options, and find the field Sign in for public users. The option Sign in required means that before entering account details, unregistered website visitors must sign up, log into the portal. It will not be possible to skip the sign up, sign in. Make sure that the standard setting of the free sign up and recent password is enabled. Otherwise, the customers will not be able to sign up, sign in. You can configure it in General Settings, Permissions, Free Sign Up. On the website, it would look the following way. As soon as the user chooses the time slot, he is redirected straight to the sign-in page. In case you set the option sign-in offered, you can also change the sign-in text. By default, the warning looks the following way. The field supports HTML, however, you shouldn't change the link that is added to the field by default. The option sign-in offered means that such users would be offered to log in if they had an account, but the step might be missed. It will be shown above the fields on the step Account Details. The user can just click on it to be redirected to the sign-in page. The option Auto Sign In means that public users might finish reservations without signing in, while the portal users will be auto-created for them and the letter to finish the registration will be sent. The offer or the obligation to log in doesn't apply to the portal user that has already logged in. The logged-in users can continue filling in the account details, confirming the reservation as usual. You can also choose the account details fields to get the required information from the client. The set of fields is configured for each website. The fields can be either mandatory or optional. The mandatory fields are the fields that are required to enter a value to confirm the scheduling. By default, the mandatory ones are name and email. It is up to you what other fields should be added and whether their filling is required. You can choose the set of mandatory and optional fields in configuration in the section Website Specific Options. To specify the fields, just click on the empty space in the field Mandatory Account Details and or Optional Account Details. Here are all the available fields that you can choose. After choosing, save the changes. If the existing fields aren't enough, it is possible to create some custom fields. For example, for language school, you can create a text field, language level. A field with the information that the client fills will be added to the appointment, but not to the contacts card. We will talk about that later. The module checks whether the entered email is entered correctly. If there is a mistake in an email, the client will not be allowed to complete the booking until it is fixed. If filling in a mobile or a phone number is mandatory, then they are also checked by the module. The country code is required. The available account details information, name, email, phone or mobile of the logged in users will be filled in automatically on the account details tab. This way, portal users will not have to enter it each time they make a reservation. In this step, you can also request clients to agree to terms and conditions. For that, on the appointments configuration page, tick the field Agree on Terms and Conditions. You can add the text that should be displayed by the box in the field Agree on Terms text. The field supports HTML code, so you can add a link to the terms of the agreement page. After that, on the step account details will appear a box which should be ticked by the client to continue the booking process. Optionally, turn off the need to agree on terms of the agreement while booking for the portal users. For that, tick the box Terms for public users only. Then we need to confirm the reservation. Public and portal users finish the reservations differently. Upon completing the reservation, portal users are either redirected to My Appointments page with a list of his/her appointments if they have several, or to the page of their current appointment if there is only one. It is also possible to redirect the user to the related sale order if the Odoo Universal Appointment Sales is installed and the option Open Order on Finishing is enabled, or even to the form of sign-in and payment. Upon completing the reservation, public users are redirected to the Success page, where they are suggested to choose the password to finish the registration. If the option of forced sign-in is enabled, that is sign-in required, then public users will not be able to complete the reservation unless they sign up and log in. If the sign-in wasn't mandatory, then after completing the reservation process, public users are redirected to the appointment page, from which they can control their appointments right in the Odoo portal. We will talk about it later. In case the booking is done by the public user, it might be a good option to ask the client to confirm the email, mobile or phone number. This way you will be able to make sure that the client is serious about the appointment and that they have provided the right credentials. For that, in the appointment configuration page, find the section Extra Features and choose the way of confirmation in the field Website Portal Confirmation. You can either set the confirmation by email or by mobile or phone number. Confirming a phone number requires sending an SMS, which is done through the Odoo SMS server. You need to make sure that you have sufficient balance for Odoo SMS IAP. So let's choose the email confirmation. After selecting the confirmation method, define the maximum period for confirmation. This is the time for which the email or mobile phone number should be confirmed. Otherwise, the pre-reservation will be cancelled and the time slot will be available for further bookings. Also specify the maximum number of attempts to confirm. This is the number of attempts that a client can make to confirm the appointment. If exceeded, then the pre-reservation will be cancelled and the time slot will be available for further bookings. Also specify the new confirmation code minimum period. This is the time after which the new code can be asked. So the customer may request a new code if he/she has not received the previous one. The number is specified in seconds. And specify the maximum number of code refreshing. This is the number of new confirmation codes that a client can receive. If exceeded, then the pre-reservation will be cancelled and the time slot will be available for further bookings. And here how it looks like. And above, the user can see the timer. So only 2 hours left to confirm the reservation. and resending is available in 25 seconds. And here is the button to resend the code. Optionally, from this history option Customize, you can turn off both timers, the confirmation timer and the pre-reservation timer, by clicking on the slider button and show expiration timers. Then they will be hidden from clients. However, the time to complete the scheduling process and to confirm mobile email will still be limited to the time specified in configurations. The single view interface allows filtering by appointment details and getting instant access to required information about the appointments. The interface consists of the main part with the calendar and the right part with functional elements. In the main part of the calendar, you can see and manage reservations. It is possible to see the appointments in the daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly view. By default, the events are shown in the monthly calendar. Move between the periods of the calendar with the help of the arrows above it. Click on the Today button to return to the view with the current day. Use the filters and the search bar to find the appointments you need quickly. The right side of the single view interface serves for navigation purposes. There you will see a smaller calendar and the list of available resource types, resources, services, and states. A small monthly calendar allows switching to a particular day quickly. Just click once to see the day in the weekly view and click twice to see in the daily view. To move between months, use the arrows above the calendar. Choose a resource type, resources, services, and appointment states to see the related appointments. When you choose a resource type, the selection of the resources and services is limited to only the related ones. If the resources have different sets of services, then as you select the resource, some resources, the list of services is also limited to only the ones related to the resources. Click on the Reset button by resources or services or states to see the appointments for all available options. Click on the Save as Default button at the bottom of the right navigation panel to save the selection for your user and apply it by default, and apply it automatically every time you open the Appointments app. To change it, just choose a different set and click Save as Default again. The feature is particularly useful when the responsible user manages the appointments itself or has a personal manager. This way, the set of resource type, resources, and services may be fixed. Instantly access information about an appointment. To see the short preview, just click on an appointment in the calendar. There you will see the information about the appointment. The appointment numeration works based on the standard Odoo functionality sequence. As soon as an appointment is created, it is numbered automatically. You may change the numbering logic, suffix, prefix, step, and so on, by configuring the related Odoo sequence. You can change the numeration in Technical Settings menu sequences. In the single view interface, click Edit to be redirected to the appointment card. On the appointment card, you will find all the information about the appointment. Start editing an appointment to optionally add one of the available alarms for the appointment and change the contact, price list, or website. However, you cannot change the resource type, resource, service, or time manually. This should be done through rescheduling to avoid conflict. From the Appointments card, in the tab Extra Products, you can also add some more products or complementaries. In the top right corner, you will find the buttons to manage the appointment states. Click on the buttons Mark Done, Mark Missed, or Cancel to change the appointment stage. Even if you accidentally marked the appointment as done, it is still possible to replan it. After that, the appointment will return to the stage planned. As you mark an appointment as done or cancel it, its time slot becomes vacant and might be occupied by another reservation, and thus be unavailable for replanning. Keep in mind that some status changes may lead to follow-up emails to the client. For example, here we marked an appointment as done, and we see that the satisfaction survey was sent to the client. To change the resource type, resource, extra resources, service, or time of the appointment, use the rescheduling wizard. The rescheduling process is similar to the simple scheduling, but the details are entered by default, however, can be changed. There are two ways to launch the rescheduling wizard. The first one we have previously tried. It is simply by drag and drop of the appointment in the calendar of the single view interface. The second way to reschedule an appointment is through the button on the appointments card. In the top right corner of the appointments card, find the button Reschedule. Click on it to initiate the rescheduling wizard. There you will see the time slots for available days. You can limit the search by specifying the dates in the field Search in Days. Keep in mind that during the rescheduling it isn't possible to change the contact, but you can do that through the simple editing of the appointment. And you can edit the contact itself in the standard menu Contacts. The process of rescheduling isn't finished until the new time slot is chosen and the details are confirmed. Hence, the currently occupied time slot will not be available until successfully rescheduled. We will talk about the features and buttons introduced by the add-ons later in the related part of the video. Below the appointments card, you will find the Messages thread. It might be used to discuss the appointments and let some users receive notifications about discussion, changing the appointment states, and rating. The module allows adding followers and configuring options which they should be notified of. By default, the followers of the appointment are the appointments manager that has created an appointment, the followers of the related resource type and resource, the responsible user, and the client. But you can add some more followers. For that, click on the person icon and on the button Add Followers. Choose the recipients and click Add Followers. The followers are added hierarchically. So if a user follows a resource type, then he is automatically added as a follower of the related resources and appointments. If a user follows the resource, he or she is also automatically added to the created appointments. The auto-subscription is applied only to the resources appointments that were created after adding followers to the resource type or resource. Here you can also decide which notifications should be sent to that user. The chosen set of options is also inherited according to the hierarchy. To the standard list of options discussing revisions, activities, and notes, the module also adds appointment-specific options. If the option New Appointments and Recovering is ticked, then if the follower will receive emails when an appointment is created or replanned after being marked done or cancelled. If the option Rescheduling Resource Update is ticked, then the follower will receive emails when an appointment is rescheduled or when a resource for the appointment is changed. If the option Appointment Cancellation is ticked, then the follower will receive the emails when an appointment is cancelled. If the option Appointment Rating is ticked, then the follower will receive a notification when the customer sends the feedback. By default, the followers are notified about discussions, new appointments and recovering, and rescheduling resource update. Sometimes there is a necessity to discuss the details of the appointment with the client. In this case, we highly recommend specifying the client's email as you create an appointment. Optionally, you can add the details later to the related contacts card. That will allow sending the emails through the related appointments messages thread and sending the notifications to the client. From the appointments card, you can also choose the options that the client should be notified about. Here the client is Deco Addict. By default, the client is notified about discussions only. As a manager, a client books an appointment, the client receives the success email. The success email is also sent when an appointment is rescheduled. The success email is the email that confirms the appointment and contains the details about it. By default, the email includes the voucher for printing. However, you can decide whether to attach the voucher or not. You can do that in the tab Notifications of the related resource type. Just tick the option No vouchers in success emails. The content of the email might be changed in the configurations, email templates. By updating the template, appointment success email templates. Optionally, you can create another one by clicking the button Create. The template should be then chosen in the tab Notifications. You can also update or create the templates right from the resource type card. This way, you can set different templates for different resources on the related resource type card in the field Success Email. This way, you can apply different email templates to different resource types. It is possible to send a copy of the client success email to other partners, for example, to make sure that it was delivered. The partners should be specified on the related resource card in the field Success Emails CC. Then they will receive a copy of the related to this resource success emails. If you send a message through the chat box below the appointment, the client, the responsible for the appointment, and other appointment followers will receive it. The user that sends the message will not receive an email with it. System messages, such as change of the appointment status, are also seen only internally. The client will not be notified about the change in the status of the appointment. However, some status changes may lead to follow-up emails to the client. For example, if set on the related resource types card, as soon as an appointment is moved to the stage marked Done, the email with the client satisfaction survey will be sent to the contact. It will also appear in the related messages thread. If you have an add-on Universal Appointments portal and website, then you can turn on the appointments for portal users. This way, the clients will receive the messages through the portal as well. Now let's check how the client sees the appointments and discussion thread with messages in portal. Make sure you have turned on the option Business Appointments in Portal. In this case, portal users will have an opportunity to schedule and manage their appointments right from portal. The Odoo portal allows you to schedule a new appointment, repeat existing reservations, and cancel or schedule the planned ones. In the user's portal, a tab My Appointments is added. When the user clicks on it, he/she sees the list of his/her appointments. Users can observe the list of planned appointments and done appointments, and may check any of them. In the list, a user sees the reference, schedule time, resource, and service of each appointment. Below the search bar, there is a button Schedule New Appointment, which redirects straight to the appointment scheduling page. If some stages were filled in previously, and the pre-reservation wasn't launched or didn't finish yet, then the user is redirected to the stage where he/she stopped. It is possible to apply various filtering, sorting, and search criteria to find the required appointments quickly. If the available options aren't enough, you can create some custom filtering and searching options in Appointments configuration. We have discussed it previously. Click on any appointments reference to open the appointments page. There you will find the appointment card with the information about date and time of the appointment, service, and resource. If you have previously added some custom fields and chose their portal page placement, then those fields will also be displayed on the appointments card with the client's answers, if any. To add a custom field, the custom fields add-ons are required. If an appointment has a linked sale order, sent, confirmed, or done, it would be also available through the standard Odoo portal entries, quotations, and sale orders. For that, the sales add-on is required. Above the appointment card, you will find the breadcrumbs to return to the previous step, and the side arrows to move between the appointments, if you have several ones. On the left side of the interface, there are functional buttons. Click Print Confirmation to generate a file with details of the appointment. The generated file will be opened in the same window, and it will include the reference of the appointment, the scheduled time with the time zone, the resource, the service, and address, if any. The module uses standard company layout for the appointments, which can be configured in General Settings, Companies, Document Layout. Click Repeat to create a new appointment with the same resource type, resource, and service. You will be redirected straight to the step of choosing the date and time. Proceed with the scheduling process in the ordinary way. After that, the new appointment will be created. A client can also add some of the complementary products after completing the scheduling process, right from an appointments card. For that, he/she should just click on the button Complementaries. Choose the products by changing their quantity and click the button Add. Then they will appear on the appointments card in the field Extra Products. If you have the add-on Universal Appointments website sales, then you will be able to add the complementaries to the resulting sale order. For that, the sale should be adapted from the backend by clicking on the button Adapt Sale on the related appointments card. Keep in mind that it isn't possible to add the products to the sale order in the confirmed state. In case there are no complementaries available, the button Complementaries will be hidden. Click Reschedule to change the details of your current appointment. You will be redirected to the step of choosing the time slot. However, with the help of the progress bar, you can also move to one of the previous steps and change your choice. Then, to complete the rescheduling, just follow the standard scheduling process. After that, the details of the current appointment will be changed. Click Cancel to repeal the appointment. Then a pop-up window, which asks to confirm the decision, will appear. After that, in case you cancel the appointment, the reserved time slot will be available for further bookings. As you remember, on the resource types card, you can set a time after which the client will not be allowed to cancel or schedule the appointment. In our case, it can be cancelled only if there is more than 1 day left before the appointment. Also, the client can click the button Schedule New to schedule a new appointment. He or she will be redirected to the appointments page. If some of the stages were filled in previously and the pre-reservation wasn't launched or didn't finish yet, then the user is redirected to the stage where he/she stopped. On the appointment portal form, the client may also see a button for signing and paying for a related order. It is shown only if there is a linked order with the sent status and your Odoo is configured for that. As a user clicks on the button, he/she is redirected to the order page, with the required sign-in payment form opened automatically. For that, the sales add-ons are required. We will talk about them later. Below the buttons, you will find the contact of the user responsible for the appointment. Click Send Message and you will be redirected to the chat box at the end of the page. Each appointment has a separate chatter box, which allows direct communication with the resource manager and other followers of the appointment. A client can also send an attachment through the message thread to ask for or provide some details related to the appointment. To do that, the pin icon below the chat box should be used. And here how it looks like. You can check the quality of provided services by referring to customers' feedback, which you can get by sending the rating email. In order to collect the rating, you need to turn on the option Use Rating for Appointments in the Appointments configuration. To configure automatic request for a customer review when an appointment is done, assign a particular rating email on an appointment card in the tab Notifications. Only one template can be chosen per resource type. This way, the related to the resource type appointments will or will not get the email request for the feedback. You can change the content of the email in the configurations, email templates, rating template. Or you can create another template by clicking on the Create button. Clients should select among three simple smiles: satisfied, not satisfied, or highly dissatisfied. You can see the reports with the customer rating in the menu Reporting, Customer Ratings. Simultaneously, in the top right corner of each resource type, Resource, and Service, you will find a button that shows the related rating. Click on it to see the rate for each particular appointment. The resulting value shows the total percentage of positive reviews. If you see the total rating of 0, it means that there are no positive marks and there are only negative ones. If there aren't any reviews for a particular resource type, resource, or service yet, then the button with the feedback is hidden from the related card. The client's feedback can be further used in appointments analytics. The module provides a convenient menu to track and analyze the provided appointments through the Appointments Report view. To view the Appointments Report, click on the Reporting tab in the Sys tray and choose the Appointments Analysis. The appointments can be analyzed on the pivot and graph views. By default, as you open a menu, the analysis is shown in a pivot view as a table. Choose a measure for the analysis by clicking on the Measures button above the table. In the pivot view, vertical and horizontally, by default you see only the option Total, which can be further extended with the options of your choice by clicking on the plus icon. Here are all the available options. For example, let's extend it to the list of resource types, then to the list of resources and services. Some options may result in the line undefined. It may happen when the field is optional. For example, in this case, there are records that do not relate to any website. Click on the plus by vertical total to choose the expansion option. For example, let's choose the option State. To cancel the expansion, click on the minus icon by the parent option. Above the table, you will find three icons. Click on the first icon to flip the axis. Click on the second one to expand all the other lines columns accordingly to the one you have already expanded. You can also download the table by clicking on the third icon. The resulting document will be in the XLSX format. Not only you can construct the tables by expanding by clicking on the plus button by the parent option, but also by grouping the options. You can create different hierarchies by clicking on the grouping options one by one. You can also limit the number of considered appointments by filtering them. It is possible to apply several filters. Then only appointments that match all of them will be considered. Use the search bar to find only the analysis of particular appointments. Switch to the graph view by clicking on the right icon in the top right corner below the search bar. There are three various graphs to visualize the result. You can see the analysis in the bar chart, in the line chart, and the pie chart. Send alarms about the appointments. The app allows preparing three types of appointments alerts: pop-ups, emails, and SMS. Select default alarms for each resource type. In the tab Notifications field Default Alarms. So they will be automatically applied to all new appointments of this type. Otherwise, you may choose those for specific appointments. The module has a convenient menu entries to manage notifications and related templates. You will find the list of those under the section Notifications Reminders. To create an alarm, click on Create button in the separate menu or the button Create from the related field on the resource type appointment card. Choose the type of the alarm. Keep in mind that the Odoo SMS server. You need to make sure that you have sufficient balance for Odoo SMS IP. For SMS and email alarms, you should also assign a template that is rendered based on the appointment details. You can do that either from the technical menu, email templates, SMS templates, or by editing the template related to the module appointments. Alternatively, you can open the Appointments module and go to Configuration, Email Templates, SMS Templates. Define the time before which the recipients should be notified. For example, it might be useful to remind about appointment an hour before it. Define whom to notify. Email and SMS can be sent to both internal and external users. In particular, you can send such alarms to a responsible user, external followers, portal users, clients, internal followers, and all followers. Pop-up alarms are only available for backend users. When everything is set, click Save. After creating, you will be able to choose these alarms on the Appointment Resource Types cards. Here they are. And those alarms will be added automatically to all newly created appointments. Alternatively, you can add the alarms right on the appointments cards. Then they will be added only to the currently edited appointment. To make sure that the settings are applied correctly and to control the alarm setting, you can refer to the queue of alarms, which can be seen in the menu Configuration, Reminder Queue. There you will find all the alarms that were generated for appointments. Now let's discuss the features and the configurations of the add-on Universal Appointment Sales. With the help of the add-on, you will be able to link appointments with the sale orders. The app relies upon standard Odoo sales workflow and payment mechanics. The idea is that each appointment might be linked to a sale order, manually or automatically. The automatic approach assumes that each appointment, after confirmation, would create a draft or confirmed sale order. After that, the default Odoo checkout process with default payment acquires is assumed to take place. To turn on the features of the module, in Configuration, find the section Extra Features and tick the option Link Appointments to Sale Orders. After that, in the field Auto Sale Order, you will be able to choose the default state of the automatically generated sale orders. The sale orders will be created as soon as an appointment is scheduled. There are 4 options available. If you choose the option Send Sale Orders, a send quotation would be prepared based on the reservation. A send quotation might be edited, so it is possible to add or remove some complementary products, change the price for the appointment, and so on. The order in the status send quotation is ready to be paid. If you choose the option Confirmed Sale Orders, then an auto sale order would be created as soon as the reservation is scheduled. The method is suitable if your service is standard, while final sale positions and details would hardly be modified after the appointment. If you choose the option Draft Quotations, then only a quotation in the state draft would be prepared. This kind of order is not yet ready to sign and pay and might be further changed before sending to the client for payment. In this way, you have more flexibility in updating an order during service provision or beforehand. For example, if you want to add extra complementaries or provide individual discounts. The sales order in the draft state isn't shown to the portal user. In order for the sale order to be visible in the portal, the state of it should be changed to the send status. If you choose the option No Auto Creation, managers have to create quotations while providing service. The method might be applicable when actual sale lines become clear only during the visit itself. In the generated sale order, the responsible salesperson team is taken according to hierarchy. At first, it is checked if the resource sales team seller is defined. If not, then the sales team seller of the resource type is considered. In case it also wasn't defined, then the responsible person of the resource and his/her sales team are set as responsible for the sale order. If you have the add-on Universal Appointments website sales, then it is possible to redirect the user straight to the sales order as he/she completes the reservation. For that, in the section Website-specific options, enable the option Open Order on finishing. Take into account that the order payment form would be opened automatically only if it is in the sent or confirmed state. The state of the generated order is based on the setting Auto Sale Order. On the appointment portal form, the client will see a button for signing and paying for the related order. The button itself may imply different actions depending on the settings. For example, it may look as sign and pay, or accept and sign, or accept and pay, and so on. As a user clicks on the button, he or she is redirected to the order page with the required sign-in payment form opened automatically. Until an appointment sale order is confirmed, you can update it from a reservation form. For example, it is possible to add the complementary products later in the tab Extra Products or by special button on the appointments card in the front end. In this case, you need to click on the button Adapt Sale, and the changes will be applied to the sale order as well. Both service, quantity, and complementary products are recalculated in this case. And here are the complementaries. As soon as the sale order is confirmed, it is no longer possible to add the products. The Adapt Sale button will be hidden from the appointments card. If multi-scheduling is enabled and several time slots are booked, both from the site and backend, a single sales order will be created. Turn on the option Appointments Reference in Sales in the module settings, so you could easily distinguish the appointments in the sale order. After that, when creating and adapting a sale order, the lines associated with the current reservation will include the reservation number and the date with the time zone in square brackets. In case you click Adapt Sale on the appointments card when there are different reservations in the sale order, the seller, origin, price list, and partner will be taken from the appointment which is changing. When one of the reservations in the sale order is cancelled, only the associated with it order lines will be deleted, and the sale order will be cancelled only if all order lines are deleted. Appointments prices are price list dependent. This means that a manager might select individual conditions during scheduling. To turn on the feature, in configurations, tick the box Multiple Services Prices. In such a way, it will be possible to apply various currencies, discounts, and promos. The price list can be chosen on the first step of booking as the appointment manager chooses the resource type, resource, and service, and at the step of adding the contact's details. In case the client already has a contact with the price list assigned, it will be applied as you choose that contact. However, you can still change the price list if needed. You can also change the price list as you edit appointments card. Don't forget to push the button Adapt Sale to apply the changes to the sale order as well. The price list set to the appointment will be assigned to the whole resulting sale order, including complementary or other products. While scheduling an appointment on the website, as the client opens the step of choosing a service, it is possible to show the available price lists and prices on the service cards. For that, the add-on Universal Appointments website sales is required. To show the prices and price lists on the website, go to Configuration, and find the section Website-specific options. Then tick the option Price Lists and Prices, and save changes. The price for the service and the chosen unit of measures is defined on the card of the related product, and we have previously added the related product to it on the service card. To change the price of the service, you need to change the price of the related product. Also, you can choose the way the clients are charged for the services. For that, in the field Calculate Price For on the resource type card, choose the pricing method. The price can be calculated per the planned duration, so the clients are charged for the fixed time of the service, which is known beforehand. Units, so the clients pay for the particular item, for example, mobile phone, or for the particular service as a unit. And tracked real duration, so the actual time spent is invoiced. For that, the extension Universal Appointments time tracking is required. Please keep in mind that if tax is not included in the price of the product, the price will be shown without tax. Also, on the step of choosing a service, the client may choose a price list and the prices will be recalculated. This way, clients may see the price in other available currencies or apply a discount if any. To make the price list available for the selection on the website, go to Configuration, Price Lists. Open a price list and in configuration, choose the website to show the price list on, or leave the field empty to show it on all available websites. Tick the box selectable and then click Save. If the contract has an assigned price list, it will be applied on the step of choosing service, and the price will be shown according to it. If there is only one price list available, then the drop-down field with price list selection will be hidden, and the default price list or contact's price list, if any, will be assigned. The next add-on is Universal Appointments HR Bridge. It allows applying employees as appointment resources. This way, the calendar of the employee, his/her meetings, and own leaves will be used to generate the available time slots. To turn on the features of the module, tick the option Employees as Resource in the section Extra Features and Configurations. Don't forget to click Save. As you enable the module's function and start creating a resource, one more field, Resource Kind, will appear. There you will be able to choose between two kinds, material and human. Choose the option Human and choose the employee. For example, you can create a resource for the teacher Ellie Lambert. The responsible person of the resource will be set by default, and that will be the same employee. It cannot be changed. Then you can finish creating the resource in the usual way. We can't create two standalone human resources for a single employee, as then the already booked time slots of one will not be taken into consideration while booking slots for another one. In this case, we may create a resource of a human kind and its alias. As you create a resource of human kind, the working calendar of the employee is taken into consideration while generating time slots. So the related services, lesson and consultation are available only during this time. Not only the calendar affects generated time slots, but also the time offs. Time offs can be either global, the time when the company doesn't work, or on leaves, when an employee takes a vacation. It is impossible to schedule appointments for non-working hours. You can view and manage all employees' all leaves right from the working calendar's card. For that, just click the button Time Off. Optionally, you can enable the feature Calendar Events as Busy Time on the related resource type card to consider the meetings of the employee unavailable for bookings. Another available add-on is Universal Appointments Time Tracking, which allows tracking the time spent on service provision and control statistics by resource types, resources, and services. To turn on the features of the module, make sure that the option Time Tracking is ticked and save it. To track the time spent on the appointment and register done jobs, click on the appointment in the calendar and then click Edit to be redirected to the appointment card. Above the appointment, you will find the button Start Working, which will help you to launch the time tracking. When you want to make a pause or when an appointment is over, click Finish Working. The timer can be launched and finished multiple times. The total duration will be recorded and calculated in the tab Time Tracking. In the same tab, you can also add the working time manually. This way, you will be able to charge the client for the exact time spent providing the service. Charge the clients for the actual time spent. For that, on the resource type card, in the field Calculate Price For, choose the option Tracked Duration. To calculate the price for the tracked time, don't forget to click button Adapt Sale. Then the price and the sale order will be adapted accordingly. As you track the time of multiple appointments, you can control the statistics by resource types, resources, and services. To analyze the real time spent on the appointments, go to Appointments Analysis and choose the measure Tracked Duration. Another useful add-on is Universal Appointments Custom Fields, which allows adding custom fields for appointments, resource types, resources, and services. The add-on also requires the core module Custom Fields Core. And there is also one more add-on available. It is Custom Fields for Website and Portal, which allows showing custom fields in Portal and on the website. Firstly, let's create a custom field for appointments. For that, go to Configuration, Appointments Fields. Click Create to add a new field and enter details. For example, let's create a field Purpose of Learning. Then let's choose the related field type. Here are all the available ones. For example, let's create a drop-down field. In this case, it is possible to add the options one by one by clicking on the button Add a line, or all options at once by clicking on the button Add Selection Values based on a string. As you click on the button, a pop-up wizard appears. The options should be divided by a comma. When you are ready, click Prepare Selection Values, and they will be automatically added to the list of available selection options. If some of the options were previously added to the list, they will not be removed by the new ones. The appointments custom fields can be resource type dependent. Just choose one or several resource types in the field Types. And the custom field will be added only to the appointments of those resource types. The tool lets you comfortably select an interface position of a custom field from a closed list of options. In the backend form view, you can place your custom fields in the Custom tab, left column, right column, and after description. Custom fields for resource types and services can be also placed in the Settings tab. In case you have the add-on Universal Appointments custom fields for the website, you will also be able to choose Portal Page Placement for the appointment custom fields. This way, the field and the replies, if any, will be shown on the appointment card in Portal. Also, you can add custom appointment fields to the step of booking an appointment on the website. That is the step Account Details. This way you can get some extra information from the client. To add the custom fields to the Account Details step, choose the Input Form Placement. The add-on Custom Fields for Website and Portal is required. If the appointment custom field relates to a certain resource types and the input form placement was set, then the field will be shown on the step of filling in the account details only of the related resource type or types. To make filling in the field mandatory, tick the option required to enter a value. Custom fields for the appointments can be also used for analysis. For that, tick the box used for analysis as you create or edit a custom field. When you are ready, click Save. The same way you can add the fields to resource types, resources, and services. Let's also create a custom field for resources. Go to Configuration, Resource Fields, then click the button Create. Type the fields label, for example, let it be certificates. Then choose the type of the field, related resource types, backend form placement, and full details page placement. Then click Save. And let's check the way the fields were added. And here is the field for our resources, certificates. And we have added the certificates that the teacher has. And as the client books the appointment on the website, we have our full details page is turned on, and as we click on More Details button, there is the custom field with the related certificates. Then, as the client proceeds to the fifth step, he sees the mandatory field, Purpose of Learning, where he can choose the related one. In the backend, at the step of filling in the contact details, the managers also see the field. After scheduling an appointment, the field with the answers, if any, is also shown on the appointments card in portal and in the backend. The next add-on that we are going to discuss is Universal Appointments Gantt. It is an optional add-on that introduces the Gantt view for appointments. The add-on requires the enterprise license of Odoo. It allows seeing the appointments in the Gantt view in the read-only mode. With the help of the add-on, you will be able to control the workload of business units, analyze shifts, allocate resources, and provide service in the familiar, well-known interface. To turn on the features of the module, make sure that the option Gantt View is ticked in Configurations of the module section Extra Features. As you open the Appointments module, in the top right corner above the calendar, you will find the buttons to switch between the appointments views. Click on the third button to switch to the Gantt view. As in the single view interface, here you will be able to see all reserved appointments, regardless of the way they were booked. Switch between the daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly view. Search, filter, and group appointments to find the required ones quickly. Apply various grouping options to create different hierarchies of groupings by clicking on several options one by one. To reset the grouping, just click on the cross by it in the search bar. Instantly access information about any appointment by hovering over it. To view the appointment card, just click on an appointment in the calendar. From the Gantt view, it isn't possible to schedule and reschedule the appointments. The table is available in read-only view. Access to appointments is managed in a different way for different types of users. Rights to administrate the appointments belong to two user roles: Appointments Only Own and Appointments Administrator. If you want a user to be able to see and schedule an appointments in the backend, he or she should belong to one of those groups. If the internal user doesn't have one of the appointment roles assigned, the related menu will be hidden for such a user. Users with the Appointments Administrator group assigned are allowed to manage all settings and update any appointment-related objects of their company. Users with the Appointments Only Own group assigned are allowed to see the resource types, resources and services in the read-only view. Observe the resources in which they are followers, responsible, or extra managers, or which do not have such managers at all. Observe an appointment if they are followers of the appointment, extra managers of the related appointment, or extra managers of the related resource, or if the resource doesn't have such managers at all. Create, update, and delete appointments related to the resources in which they are a responsible or an extra managers, or which do not have such managers at all. So, the followers of a resource type resource appointment can access them in the read-only view. In order to create, manage, and delete an appointment, the user should be a responsible or extra manager of the resource, or there shouldn't be such a manager assigned. The module supports a multi-company regime, so the stated rights are also limited by the company set in the related resource type. This way, in order to have access to a certain resource type, resource, service, or an appointment, the user should also have the access to the related company. To assign an appointments role to an internal user, go to Settings, Manage Users, choose a particular user, click Edit, scroll to the section Others, and find the line Business Appointments, and choose one of the roles. Then you can click Save. There is also an additional access role, which was introduced to let the users of the group Appointments Only role manage the working calendars. That is, manage resource calendars and all leaves. Let's also assign it to this user. And then let's save it. It allows to see the configuration working calendars menu, even if the user doesn't belong to the group appointments administrator. Edit any working calendar and shifts in it. Create, delete, edit, including approval, any leaves, both global and for each employee. Public users, that means any website visitors, may access the appointments page only if you explicitly allowed that. Thus, you can switch off the option Business Appointments on website to fully disable the scheduling appointments for such users. The option cannot be turned on if the appointments for the portal users aren't enabled. Public users would see only those resource types, resources, and services which are published and available for the website they are visiting. Any website visitors might schedule an appointment and access resources services without registration, unless you make the sign-up mandatory to confirm the reservation by choosing the option Sign in required in the field Sign in for public users. To let portal users schedule appointments, turn on the option Business Appointments in Portal. Portal users, registered and logged in users, have the same access as public users, but they also can see and manage the reservations available to them, their company, and their colleagues, if any. I hope this video will be useful for you. Feel free to contact us to try the module in the demo instance. See you in the next videos.